Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. This is your girl Stephanie Macharia from We Talk Show. I am back, bigger and better. It is a triple B. How are you guys? How have you been doing? So today I want to talk about one guy who had a brush with death 7 times. I am not kidding you. These things can never be made up. Mr. Frano Silak. You know where he's from? He's from Croatia, and he had 7 different death experiences, and he still survived. Actually, if you read the stories, you'll find out that he never came out with a scratch, a broken bone, or even a tear on his skin. How he did that, let's get into it and get to know what he went through, how he went through it, and everything about him. So I'll be reading from my research that I've been doing so that I can be able to enlighten you all on what Mr. Frano was all about. He was a music teacher in Croatia. So he was born in 1929, so he's not an young man, he's an old guy, so he's been there for a very, very long time. Okay, so January 1962, he was riding a train through a cold, rainy canyon, and the train flew off the tracks and crashed into a river. Okay, and an unknown person pulled Silak to safety while 17 other passengers drowned. Silak suffered a broken arm and hypothermia. The next year, during his first and only plane ride, he was blown out of a malfunctioning plane door and landed in a haystack. He landed on a haystack. Really? A plane blew on air, and the only place he could land on is on a haystack. Unfortunately, the plane killed 19 people. There are, however, no records of the plane crash in 1963 around Croatia matching Selak's narrative. These are all alleged because it's him telling his story, you know? So we can only be allegedly, you know? So, yes. So, 3 years after that, in 1966, a bus that he was riding in skidded off the road and into a river, drowning 4 passengers. Silak swam to shore with a few cuts and bruises. How lucky can a man be? What would you have given to God to get such luck? 3 times now. That's his first bus ride, okay? In 1970, his car caught fire as he was driving, and he managed to escape before the fuel tank blew up. I didn't say that. Mr. Frano told us, okay? 3 years later, in another driving incident, the engine of his car was doused with hot oil from a malfunctioning fuel pump, causing flames to shoot through the air vents. Silak's hair was singed in this incident, but he was otherwise unharmed. He was unharmed yet again. In 1995, he was struck by a bus in Zagreb, but sustained only minor injuries. In 1996, he eluded a head-on collision with a UN truck on a mountain curve by swerving into a guardrail, which gave away under the force. Silak was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected out of the car, clinging to a tree branch as he watched his vehicle fall 300 feet. What is going on? What is this? Why is this not on Netflix? Why is this not a movie? I would have cashed out on it. I would have made big money with this story. Why he didn't sell it to me? Tell me, creative. Anyway. So those were his accidents. That's not the top cherry that we are looking for today's story. Guess what happened? Selak won a lottery. Oh my god. At 76 years old. Yes. He's escaped a train wreck, escaped a plane crash, one bus incident, three car accidents. At 72 years old, he won a lottery. Oh my god. Anyway, he was also married for the fifth time at the time of his win. So he purchased two houses, a boat with his winnings. In 2010, he decided to give most of the remaining money away to relatives and friends after deciding to live a frugal lifestyle. Frugal means just like, going day by day, like, you're not like he was rich because he won a lottery. So he was living extravagantly, you know. So frugal lifestyle is where you just decide to tone everything down a notch or 10 notches down so that you're living just with the bare minimum. You can eat, you can drink, you can sleep, you can have a dress on you, just the bare minimum. That's how you live a frugal life. Anyway, none of Silik's near-death experiences have ever been independently verified, and at times, some of these accounts of his near-death experiences were inconsistent. So nobody knows till today if it's true of his, because it's him who said the stories. But I think people would vouch for the people who saved him, the person who saved him from the bus that was, or the car that was on fire, or the crash, or people can vouch for that, right? So I don't think it's that off anyway, because nobody has ever come out to say it is a lie. This guy was lying. No, he's still the most person I think I've heard who has had a brush with death 7 different times and still came out alive and like still won a lottery at his age of 72 years old. I don't think anybody else has done that. And nobody has come out to say, it's all a lie. This guy is lying. It's all. Anyway, he later died at the age of 87. Yes. So anyway, why I decided to do this story is it fascinated me. It's like really blew me off because I was like, if someone can have a brush with death 7 times, or else some people get a little cough, flu, and they gone. Can you imagine what some people enjoy? You can imagine telling your family or your friends, you come home with a bandaged arm or leg or your head, and you come and tell them, you find the news reporting a plane crash today morning that was heading to Addis Ababa via Nairobi was crashed and blah blah blah, 19 people were killed. And oh yes, I was in that plane. Imagine how your family will be like, mm-hmm, yeah, right. So anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is no matter the situation you're going through today or tomorrow or yesterday, tomorrow a better day might come. You might win a lottery. It might not be money. It might not be finances based. It can be you can win something else. You think you're old, maybe you won't be able to find love, find a baby, get a job, get a career, get a business going. You're not too old. At 72, you can still win a lottery. You can still get a husband, a wife, a child. I don't know that how. Scratch that. Bye, guys. Thank you so much. So from now henceforth, I'll be doing stories like this back to back. Historic people that are remembered in history. So We Talk Show now is going to incorporate also some stories that tell tales that people don't know much about. Okay? Thank you so much, guys, for your time from wherever you're watching me from. Enjoy yourself, be safe, and take care of yourself. Bye.